So last week was a little bit of a write-off. I had several appointments and Kaylee's birthday, and we also had Widdicombe Fair, so we didn't get as much done as we'd like. So here is what we did last week. These are lambs that didn't get overvacked with the rest of them this week that Dad and Becca have been doing. So we've heptavacked them instead, just to keep them covered, because we couldn't get hold of any overvac, sadly. So they're now going back in with their mates. So we're just bringing up the cows and calves from wet moor to give them a change of fields. Out they go. So we have just done the old Ewes feet, moved the cows, walked the ewes through the footbath just to try and help with that. The horses didn't want to split out, so Nutmeg is staying down the lower side, which he will not be happy about. So I'll move him in the morning when he gets his bit of cake. We're just going to walk the old ewes that should be coming up behind me any minute now to a fresh field, because they've been picked down, and then we just want to sort out a few of the show sheep, the lambs and things. Then hopefully it will be time for lunch, and then Dad is going to do a load of dung spreading to try and finish getting the sheds out, and I'm going to go more to try and find 3 of our heifers that have paired off with someone else. So we've just been and picked up the Merlot. Me and Kaylee are just on the bike. We've just loaded up the lambs. We're going to take them back over to Corndon. Dad's going to go do some dung. So we've just got over to Corndon. This week, obviously today is the Queen's funeral, so we are just doing some odd jobs to fit around from watching that piece of history. So we've just come over and we've just picked out 3 hogs, one of which isn't a Scottie. She's a Newtake ewe that couldn't go Newtake, so she managed to get into the Scotties. We picked out 2 out of the hog group that we are keeping. These other 10 that are going to run out now are ones that we are, or Dad is taking to market tomorrow. So these are the 10 that are going to go to Tavistock market tomorrow in the Scotch Ewes under IG Mortimer and Son, Chagford. So I'm out doing morning jobs. Dad has loaded and gone to Tavistock market today with some Scotch ewes. So I am doing the morning jobs. I tried to get here early enough for the time he told me last night, and then whilst I was on my way I got a call to say he's gone earlier, so didn't quite go to plan. So I'm out doing all the morning jobs again that Dad obviously does now since they came home. So we are out doing a little gather just for the afternoon. We've come out, we're trying to clear what we classify as Isaacum. Becca, as you can see, is just ahead with the orange hat, and Dad is just straight over. You can't quite see him, he's very camouflaged in, there he is, in the ground. So we're just bringing these ewes and lambs in. We're going to split out the lambs, and then the ewes will come back out. As you can see, we've got lots of cows here around. We've even got some of the ponies up here. They're wondering what's going on. They all think they're going to get something. Yeah, heifers are truly having a fun game. Oh, okay. 12? Yeah. Sorry, 13. So I have dropped the bike because once again me and this unrough ground on the bike don't go well. I've got a few sheep in front. I believe there's about 4 of ours. There is a way. Dad has managed, there you go, they're just going up. Just going up. Good girls! Hop, hop, hop! Simply, I'm walking this because I don't get on very well with the bike and steep ground. Never have, don't think I ever will. And I find it a lot easier to find my way through on foot. Typically as well, because of having an older sister who is also on farm, she would normally take the bike. So we'd get to a point like where I've got to with the bike, and she would drop me off. She would go up round, I would follow the sheep, and then she'd pick me back up. Obviously, we have done that before, me and Dad. So it just means that obviously I've got a bit more walking to do because I'm not as confident with the bike out here. Obviously there is a path that you can come down over this hill here somewhere. That's a stone. I've come down it several times. Not that I enjoy it, but it is doable. So just check that these sheep are going up where I need them to, and then we'll go back and get the bike and drive up round. As you can see, it's extremely steep. This is one of the very handy things with the heavy dew. You can see where the sheep have gone. And as you can see, they're just up there in front. So as you can see, we're in this burnt bit that's above Lakeland or Drift Lane, depending on who you are and what you know. So this is a great opportunity. So you see that white van driving down the road? He's actually chasing all of our sheep along the road. Dad is way back here with the dog, and he is just literally pushing them all down the road. I'm following a bunch of sheep at the minute just down under where we were hoping they were all going to go. And that van is literally, you could just, here, if I try and zoom in, all the sheep are down there and he is just pushing them along the road. Rather than just bloody waiting, because you can see there's a bike moving them, no, he'll just push them on. They are meant to be coming down, literally where they are, they're meant to be coming down that strip down there, like towards, like, well, there is bullocks, but they might go a bit higher up. But no, he hasn't stopped or anything, he's just pushing them along the road. So as a polite notice, if you see sheep being moved, you know, go through them, but go through slowly. Don't just, you know, put your foot down and push them out the way, because it doesn't help us. You know, it's hard enough out here gathering, you know, watching the dog with all the cars, because the cars don't worry. And then let alone having cars just pushing the stock. You know, it doesn't help. Whereas that car, look, that car's seen all the sheep and they've stopped. They're going to move on the other side of the road now to pass them all, like a normal, polite person would do. Right, I better catch up with my sheep. My sheep are running down to the bit of river. They'll cross over and they'll walk like out on that path, and then they'll walk down over to these bushes. Dad's big bunch. I don't know if my phone will just about pick it up. They're just going in that line of buzz. You can just see the white moving. Dad's just back there on the green going. He's got a slow lamb. So my ewes will hopefully walk down. They'll walk through the river and they'll meet them. They'll go down through past the stone circles and should pick up a few of those sheep. Looks like Dad's up in the fern. Looks like he's going to probably go up and just pick up those sheep that are just further up. He was hoping that the sheep were going to come in by those cows to pick up, but due to the van pushing them, they obviously find the next line of protocol, which is obviously that line. Now, just as a bit of experience, I don't drive out here very often, simply because of having Rebecca here. She's been out here on farm for, I think it's about 12 years now, so she's got a lot more experience when it comes to driving out here on the moor, unlike me, who, whoa, okay, vacate ship. Oops, okay, so I literally just came down over there. Obviously it dropped a fair bit and I was leaning forward, so obviously the whole bike tipped forward. All I did was move myself to the back of the bike and drove down over it. It was fine. Obviously my little panic moment. So yeah, as you can see, Dad's gone back up the road now around those sheep. My sheep here are just in front. They will walk around that bit of bog and go out, and they'll meet my other sheep just there. It's quite handy being able to sit this side, because as you can see the sheep are splitting. Half of them are going the right way, half have decided that they want to go and see what the pony's doing. So we'll catch up and get over there so we can help Dad. Dad's going to bring those sheep down and we'll probably make our way down under Lakeland and home. Pick up anyone on the way. So just as a bit of a bearing, the way we're coming now is what I classify like through the stone circles. There's some stone circles behind us that get tended to every now and then. Those sheep there that are running over, they went along that top line. They are technically coming across another path. When we do the when we do the mine gather and the far side, we do bring some over there. They cut in down off the road and come in that path. and those are the sheep that have gone the wrong way and have now come in over that path. So we've just got to the top of what we call Lakeland, or the bottom, I should nearly say, of Lakeland. Now we've just got to let the sheep go steadily. The pathway down here underneath into the river is very thin. As you can see the track that comes out the other side. I can't get down there with the bike. I've never actually been this way with the bike. I normally walk. So I've got to go across the hill, down into the gully, and then along the bottom of the gully is what I've been told. So we'll test it, we'll see. I've just got to go steady and I'll try it. Like I said, you know, I do a lot of this on foot. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I don't quite know what I was moaning about. I did walk it just to see where I had to end up. And actually, it was very simple, very easy. Come here! My dog's gone again. That's very handy, Peg. So yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit of a maze down here. The sheep typically head over in that big bunch and they cross the river. Those few sheep are going over to where I've got to go across with the bike because I can't get across the water further down, it's too deep. Although it's very narrow, I physically can't get across it. Well, we've never tried. I don't want to be the first to try because I will be the one that gets stuck. So obviously the sheep would normally come down amongst all those rocks around where those trees are. They come down all through that. Yeah, they've started walking back. As you can see by the long line of them, it is a very narrow track. The bike does get up across it, but for the sheep, they obviously, you know, walk in twos and things. So obviously, looking back, this is the valley that we came down through. So we came down over that hill where these trees are. I don't know if it would let me, down over by those trees, and then we came down that centre bit here, those sheep did. We went up here and came down this valley, and then through these trees, across this river, and now obviously up the path to where we are. Obviously it does take a while to navigate yourself through. You know, for me walking, I could obviously get myself anywhere on feet. That's easy. It's another thing to have to manoeuvre the bike, which as you can tell, I'm still learning. Hopefully one day I will kind of get you strapped either to Becca or Dad with the GoPros and just show you, you know, their side of it. They don't have to think very much about where they're going, they just kind of go. Which obviously just shows you the years of being out here and the knowledge and things that they have learned along the way. Obviously Dad has lived his whole life out here, so he has done this gather on foot, with horses and now on bikes. You'll never be able to do this gather with anything else other than horses and bikes or on foot. You know, it's just the terrain that you've got to work with. Steady! So my big bunch has come out of the Vuz. As you can see, they're just along this top bit that was burnt several years back now. Peg's just pushing up a few that we've just come around here in the bottom. Also picking up a lamb and a ewe there on the side. Steady, Peg! They'll hopefully walk up. I'm going to go back up and push them all along. They'll walk up. If not, I can send the dog. So we have pushed ours out over. You can't quite see them. They're just over the side of the hill. We're just coming back round. There was a little bunch. So me and Peg have come back round just to pick them up. Some of them, Peggy, come here, steady. Some of them are ones that we have picked up yesterday, but there is a few ewes and lambs that aren't fresh marked, and obviously we're picking in the lambs. So they won't split out, so it's just as easy just to bring the whole bunch back in again. So we're going to push these along here, along the top of the burnt bit, and then we'll go pick up the rest of the sheep. Dad is just there coming through the burnt bit. I don't know if you can quite see him with me moving so. He's probably wondering where the hell I've been. So we've made it back alongside the home fields, trying to get this bunch as they come out. Peg!
Peg! Peg, steady, good girl. Peg, steady!
And they're going across. Yeah, they're going. Good girls! Come on! There's two a bit further back. Whoop! Whoop! Yeah, two are coming. They're just still walking across. Yeah, there's one halfway and there's going to be two in a minute. Yeah, that's fine. I'll yeah, they're going out that way at the minute, but Peg, come here. So I just thought this would just show you what we're up against down here in the mines, as we call it. Peggy, come here. Come here. Good girl. This is what all the tracks are like. Literally by foot, Dad can only go so far, and then you come across little gullies like this. You know, sometimes they're deeper than others. Try and catch up with the sheep. That's why I spend a lot of my time on foot. Peggy, come here. Come here. They should have. So everything around here is very much like that. We're at the top now, so it doesn't really show you what it's like in under. Obviously that's Warren there in front of us. We have caught up with the sheep now. You can see there is a few on the other side running the wrong way. Typically we would say if they're going the wrong way when you come in and shout, they're not ours. So typically they might be Wanacotts. Typically ours, they'll stay to this path. Now we're behind them. I can hear Dad shouting in the background at those 5 ewes that we saw going over lower down. Hopefully they'll come up on the track above him. I'm literally going to follow these ewes. We're going to go across this next gully and they should make their way over to the bottom of what we call the Warren field, simply because it's the field below Warren. So we will follow them across into the bottom. As you can see, there's several in there. Some of them are Wanacotts as well. Obviously the marking obviously tells you, being out here gathering and everything. What is that? Look like a crane. Lamb? No? Might be. So we're just walking the ewes along the road. Obviously cars are still trying to pass. We're just trying to keep them nice and steady beside them, because you never know. The dog's coming up. Steady! Sit, Peg! Sit, Peg! So yeah, we've just got to watch cars, not only with the sheep but also the dog. They don't think that there's going to be a dog coming to and from the road to keep the sheep. So I just try and stay on the road so they see something's going on, because they can't. Peggy, come! Peggy, come! Because they can't see the dog in when she dashes in either side. Dad has gone in under to pick up some more lambs or ewes. We'll see what he comes with. So we've actually come along down by the circles, coming down to what we call Lake Land. We haven't come across. Dad is, if you can just about pick him out, is just going across the track that I thought we were going to come with these from the mines. They walked along the road really nicely and then they turned down, which does make it easier because you can pick up any extras that have come out into the places you've already gathered. But Dad is just going to check that side now. As you can tell, I'm walking. That's simply because the mines is such a tricky place to navigate with the bike, and as you saw before, all the paths are so thin you can't travel with the bike, so you need to be on foot. We don't have horses that we ride out. We used to ride a lot more when we were younger, but never so much with gathering. So it's always been foot or bike with us. As you saw with some of the traffic, we get some drivers that are absolutely lovely, and they'll even tell you that you've missed sheep even though they're not yours because they're marked differently, not that they should know that, and they are absolutely lovely about it, and they say thank you and they stop and they wait. You have a few that you just tell pass nice and slowly and you'll be fine, and they're brilliant. And then you get other people who try to rev past you as quick as they can because they have somewhere to be, and they don't realise that you have a dog running across the road who all she's thinking about is her work, which is the sheep. So towards the end there, just before we turned off from the road, the sheep were all on the grass, but Peg had to go down by the road to keep them turned on. I stood out in a road and a very sporty blue small car came hurtling past, didn't think about the dog who was running down the road to turn in, that she might turn around, and just put his foot down and went. Lucky to say that she was very smart and she got in onto the grass, and it's easy to say that he was not sticking to the speed limit, which is one thing that is really upsetting. I know it's a nice straight road and you think you can bomb it, but unfortunately that's why we then have so many sheep hit. We also from time to time do get the odd cow hit, which does amaze us. Normally that is on bad weather days and foggy days, or even during the night. We also get horses hit, especially during like the winter months. Steady, Peg. This is simply because they come out on the road because of the gritters. They love the salt, so they come out on the roads and they lick, and people then think at night all the sheep and cows and horses and everything will be in, so they bomb it down the road, and then looky here, there's a horse over the hill and they can't stop, pretty much. So the one advice I'd give you if you're driving on the moor, just go steady. If you see bikes or see people walking around, just maybe be a bit more observant. If you see a big clump of sheep like this walking somewhere, just be observant, because there could be a dog on the road. It might not even. Please be observant, because, you know, although they might be a dog to you, they are our working companion, and, you know, a lot of us, we wouldn't be able to do the jobs we do without them. So just, yeah, that would be my little tip and my little rant for the moor today. But else, these ladies are walking in lovely. I can hear Dad above me, and we will simply do the same walk we did last time. We'll go down, we'll go in under here at Lakeland, and we'll cross over to that little track, and we'll walk all the way up that track, across the top of the burnt bit. The sheep before went below that burnt bit, out to the corner of the fields, and literally around at home. So I won't bore you with another trip of the exact same thing, but that's where these girls will be going. Dad is just sat out from me checking that there's no one else. And I can't see any of the cows in the bottom here too, so hopefully they are now staying up where they need to be. Looking at it, I will try and show you what it's like down here. Peg's actually gone down the one I would normally walk. So obviously, I'm not gonna, there's Peg, I'm not gonna get through there. So, as you can see, it is not for the bike. Peggy, come here, not too fast. Obviously over the years this has been washed out. Sorry, Peg. But yeah, don't know if we can see, so there goes our sheep. Dad is just over there trying to get that sheep, so that's the gully. He came in under the gully where we went before. He's got a wool ewe there who might want to come. If we stay here nice and quiet, she might come over and join us. So we are just following the sheep now over and around to where they crossed the river. Try and find my letters. So as you can see, it is very rough ground here. You can get all the way across here with the bike, but you just can't cross the river. As you can see, it's quite a drop and a deep one, and we've, you know, you might get across it from places, but it is then wet on the other side. So we just cross where we know we can cross for now, until something happens and we can't cross there again. Then we'll, you know, reschedule. As you can see, this is where the sheep primarily come and jump because the river is nice and narrow. It is still fairly deep and it is damp on the other side. But that's what it is. Ow, 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 ow. So as you can see, the wall is over there, where we came up past with the bike the other day, which is where Dad will come up. We're lower down than that. You just gotta go steady because single file. Peggy, sit. And there's Dad. So these are now going out. As you can see, gates open, they can just go. We kept them in whilst we went over into the mines because these will go out and they'll stay here fairly close now in the next, few hours. So we didn't want to bring the mined ones in and then have to be bringing all these in that we've already seen. A bit like what we did this morning with these, we picked in 29 that were already seen to. So there might be ones or twos out there still that we haven't managed to pick up yet, and we'll have a little bit of a sweep here and there for any odd ones. But now we've fresh smarted them, we'll be able to tell, which will be really good. And obviously at the same time we're having a good old count up of them all. But there they go. Time to get
That'd be his black sheep, little black sheep, little Hebridean sheep, and then, yeah, mixed black and white.
I haven't picked any ewe lambs, so it's all in there. There you go, in there, the store lambs away from, it's all holding in there, and this pan in there, what is there now, near the £80 a order, and £80, £70 a order, 70. 65. 5 I got, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. £75, it's £75 now you're around the corner then, 75, that's £75, £75, £75, half and up then, that's £75 right hand and going all down in here, so it's £75, 75, 14 in the next corner, yeah. Charlie, Suffolk. You go in there, same remarks in there, and there you go in there, then this pen away in there, and what's in there? £70 to go there, Suffolk Ram. £70 at 1, 72, 72, 73 half then. Now you started at 4, half, 5, 75, 75, 75, half again then, 75, £75 then, 75, half and up then, at 75 going all down the side, 75 down was the last 75 got 14 in here. 14 away in there. Charlie's again in there. What is it in there? 75 to go on 5, 65. 25, yes. 65. It's a long way apart. 68, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75. 75 there, 75 pound and 75, 75 and 5 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 and 5. That's 75 pound. All done. Going, yes, not equal to 75 pounds. Go together. 75.